I don't know. It might feel a bit awkward.
We don't have a lot of umlaut names here. I think World War II kind of like made a lot of people. If you had an umlaut in your name, you were like, yeah,
You're problematic.
getting rid of that one.
Yeah.
Alright, so apart from the World War II lore, we actually we actually have a Dota game to cast. Don't know if you guys
Is
are
it
ready.
going?
I mean, it started.
Coin toss.
They've coin tossed it up.
Okay.
One of my friends gave me like a Pokemon TCG coin like randomly. So in spirit, I'm gonna toss the coin as well. Heads or
nice.
tails?
I think I had
Heads
one
or
of those
tails?
somewhere.
Head.
Okay. Beats. I assume you're gonna go tails then.
I'm gonna go in the middle.
Alright.
Yeah, I
it
think it's gonna
literally
land.
was not the middle. It was head. So good job, Benji.
Good stuff. All right, so these two teams we got Afternoon Mercenaries and Blorp Unlimited, both doing in kind of in the middle of the casual division. Blorp Unlimited 5 and 7, and then Afternoon Mercenaries 6 and 6. So both around they're about 500 at the moment. But every win is important for that playoff stage. You want to be getting into that upper bracket. And this is gonna be an exciting match. I'm looking forward to it. Just getting into the game right now.
Okay, so real
What are you
shit.
guys
Like
doing?
I knew the group stage was like sort of a round robin, like everyone plays each other,
Mhm.
right? I don't know
Yeah.
anything about the playoffs, so when Chio was like, "Hey guys, we might be starting in lower bracket," I literally have no idea how y'all got there. I also don't know what the implications are, or like how to see who's going up and who's going down. So if you have any clue on
Neither.
that, please pop me. Okay, you have no idea.
Oh, not me. I just assume that some people will be going to upper brackets, some to lower brackets. So
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm also assuming some people will be winning and some people will be losing, especially during this
yeah, I
match,
think
but
that's likely.
that's a fair
I mean, if I was to make an
assumption,
educated guess, there's like 9 teams in each division. Top 4 will go to upper bracket. Next 4 go to lower bracket. Last place gets eliminated. Probably something like that. I would
Benji's
guess.
education really shining here as he makes
Yep.
an educated guess.
All right, first phase
Okay,
balance.
you got the Dota buff pulled up, right?
Yep.
Okay, real shit, like as in completely off the record, even though I'm literally on stream. I casted like fucking 4.5 hours of Pokemon Unite today. That was pretty intense. So I'm not gonna be bringing any hype. I'm just gonna be bringing some commentary. I think.
That's fine. That's totally fine. Me and Beats are known for providing copious amounts of
Insane
hype.
level of
so,
hype. Yeah. I knew I could rely on you guys.
So interesting. These bands they look pretty I would say targeted. Because I don't think these are heroes that have been typically banned. A lot of the time you see your ODs, Weaver. We've seen a lot banned. What else?
I would have loved to have seen an OD
Stuff
ban
like
just to kind of
Spiritbreaker.
open up the mid lane a little bit.
Ah, there it is.
Yeah.
Guys, he set the line. Okay.
Oh, my favorite.
One thing I want to point out is Afternoon Mercenaries. I'm just gonna go out and say that I'm definitely favoring this team. Not for any particular biased reason, just because of the fact that on their team they have Greg Salacious Beef Sher, who notably was one of the people who defeated Arkosh. So they got a real merc on their team, that's for sure.
But you're not siding with the team that just picked what is in fact your very most favorite hero.
Guys, I know this isn't allowed, or not that it literally doesn't matter, but I'm just gonna flex a little bit. Everyone, take a look at this beauty right here. What the hell? Okay. Anyways,
It's
back to
beautiful.
if he doesn't have the dragon set, I'm just gonna be scratching my head, to be honest. Like, if in fact you first pick it, so I'm assuming you have the best cosmetics. If you're not dripped out the wazoo, I don't want to see it. The
Yeah,
response
if
is
you're a support, and you're asking for that first big ogre, there's no way you don't have at least a solid cosmetic to pair with it.
Yeah,
It's
there's
just
no
not,
way you
just not how
can't
it works.
multicast on command. If you can't even multicast on command, what are you doing picking first pick ogre? You're not some Clement Ivanov, man. Come on. Unless you got the lady luck on your side. I mean, these are all very stable support heroes, which is something that we see quite commonly picked up in this bracket. Just favoring the strong lanes and favoring the lane presence as well. And I mean, who better to give you lane presence and just aggression as well as this Grimstroke. I think Ogre Magi Grimstroke is a lineup or an opening that I've seen before run by Toxic Angels. They ended up opening into an intensely aggressive draft with Skyrive Mage mid as well as Tusk offlane. So I don't know whether Blorp Unlimited, they're quite feral dogs in that manner, but we'll have to see what they follow up with. But they definitely have really strong aggressive potential here.
Interesting thing. So the first 3 picks, Ogre, Jakiro, and Lion, are actually the 3 most picked heroes in the WLDL this season. So Jakiro's first with 46, then Ogre with 38, and then Lion with 36. So sticking to the classics, I see.
I mean, as
very on-brand draft.
What's his name? Alan Nahas Bester loves to say, stats do not tell lies on the internet.
They don't tell lies.
Yeah, they do not. So, I mean, as we can see here, we are very clearly on the internet and there are no lies to be seen. So stats, you can give yourself a pat on the back wherever you are. You're doing great.
What, Mr. Stats or Nahas?
No,
Who are you referring to?
no, the entirety of statistics as a principle can
I see.
just take a day off and grab a nice martini or whatever the fuck it fancies. Alan Bester though, I'm pretty sure it's important work to do, so probably should get back to that. But
Yeah.
Fourth bet.
5 seconds remain.
Interesting. The Morphling ban. Now, I don't know. I'm not seeing a huge morph potential here, so I think this has to be some sort of targeted ban. I mean, Lion Jakiro morph, it doesn't seem especially amazing. It doesn't seem like a great combo there.
I think the fear
About
is
the
that Ogre
time.
Magi and Grimstroke, like, I feel like those supports alone don't ever enable a kill onto you. Sure, Grimstroke might be pretty good, but maybe the draft they're going for just doesn't have the power to kill him off, right? So that's just an early ban. Now,
That's true.
I mean, in a similar vein, they're kind of scared about running out of damage. They banned the Tidehunter as well, a hero who's notoriously hard to bring down if you don't have overwhelming amounts of damage to pump into him. This might be indicative of a greater idea in their draft. Maybe they are going for that, straight up aggression and just burst you down and get those pickoffs.
Yeah. Interesting from Blorp Unlimited. Still got some good Grimstroke combos available to them. You could go in a couple of ways. It's the big team fight. Ultimates that you can use. What's his ulti called? It's not Static Link. Yeah.
Soulbind.
Soulbind, that you can
What
soulbind to
the
like
hell?
a Doom or something. Or you can go the other way. You use the Inkswell, you pick like a PA or a Jug or something, and you set up early kills in lane. So both options, both routes, still very much available to them. After the Mercenaries looking to go a bit of a different way with their band. They do ban out the Void though. Very good Grim combo.
I mean, and they give the respect band to the Greg Earthshaker, notably once again the pick that destroyed Arkosh Gaming.
Indeed.
So, I mean, usually you think that Lion's pretty good against Medusa and Jakiro as well, because Jakiro can kind of throw out these spells at long range and kind of keep the Medusa in place. That's usually one of the weaknesses, right? And where so many spells that you can throw out from far range and just they're all disable slows, which is something Medusa doesn't like to play up against. You think you wouldn't be so scared of it, but they just opt to ban it out. Might be a targeted ban. Ooh.
I like this pick.
Bottoms
A
up.
Brewmaster.
Hell yeah.
The Panda. Not excessively picked in WLDL, if I'm correct. I think picked only 8 times so far. And they do go for the Doom. That's the...
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah. Talk to me, Beats. What does Doom plus Grimstroke do?
Here's why I like it. You got 2 guys. Look at how visually similar these guys look, with the horns on the top. They're literally kind of in the same direction. You know, Valve when they designed this hero was like, this is the hero you pick with Doom.
It's like Doom's brother.
I kind of don't like
Distant
the fact
brother.
that I kind of don't like the fact that Grimstroke's kind of just swiping his right leg back and forth. I feel like it's like a stance thing, right? But at the same time, it's like getting kind of annoying. I feel like Doom's just gonna,
You're gonna snap.
Yeah, he's gonna be like, get your fucking brush off my leg, you fucking piece of shit.
So I
and I
wanted to
think it's got
talk
spikes,
for a
it's got
brief
spikes.
moment about the potential of a Jakiro v Ogre Magi matchup. I've seen this matchup recently. I can't remember where it was, but if the Jakiro starts with the Windlace, you have a really nice time just a really swell time against this ogre because you can literally he'll never get in range to bop you on the head, and you can just continuously harass him in the lane. There's not really much you can do about it.
Are you talking about it from the point of view of a Jakiro 5 or a Jakiro 4? Like ogre, like which lane is he going? Because I'll just give the ogre point of view of this. If I know I'm laning against a Jakiro or like a Brewmaster or a Lion potentially, I am not planning to bop anyone on the head. I'm just gonna bring a bunch of mangoes and spam my ignite because I'm not gonna be able to hit that Jakiro ever. And if I get myself in a position where I hit the Jakiro, I'm probably griefing. I mean, yeah. So Wraith King,
That seems about right.
right? Like you don't actually do well against Jakiro. Is like one of these. It's like, okay, this might be a bit of a hot take here, but I feel like Jakiro is almost the ranged version of Ogre because you have so many low committal but annoying ass spells to like throw out from far range that just take people down. And meanwhile, you're just so fucking tanky, right? That like, if you're getting slowed up by an ignite, you don't really want to walk up and hit people. It just feels bad.
Okay, yeah, interesting point to sort of segue away. I was looking at Brewmaster's 8 picks so far. Interesting enough, 4 of them have been from Afternoon Mercenaries, so this is clearly a comfortable pick for them. I believe they played it the offlane core each time, and they're 2 and 2 with it. Lifestealer.
These are some strength heroes.
Imbecile excels against strength heroes.
I
Also
know.
the-
Yeah, Timbersaw, maybe like a late Undying pick in your mid lane, a little mid lane Undying. Ooh.
That sounds like a spicy pick right there.
Dude,
But
why
I think
did
I-
Beats just sound more excited within those 4 seconds than he did the entire rest of the duration of us talking?
That's true. It's the mid lane. Have you ever played mid Undying before, Beats?
No.
No. It sounds kind of fun though. It's like offlane Undying, but
Let me tell you what I do like though.
Also-
I like this there's a lot of synergy in the heroes going on right now on Blorp between the Grimstroke and the Doom looking similar, and then you have the Doom and the Wraith King, both like big guys with swords. And I gotta tell you, I'm a big fan.
They're doing like the broken telephone thing, right? Where they like kind of draw like what they think the next hero
ooh,
is,
good
right?
shout. Yes.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
like Grim, they like draw some guy who's like not very good at art draws Grim, and they're like, oh, you could mistake that for Doom, a bit of glance value. Then you see this big dude with horns and like a sword, and like maybe he wrote like death or something like that to signify hell, and they got Wraith King instead. So a bit of miscommunication coming out. Of course, at least the broken telephone game on the side of Blorp Unlimited is there. I don't know about Afternoon Mercenaries though. Their heroes are all diverse.
Yeah. Blorp Unlimited could really round this out with a Death Prophet, I think. Then it's like a true game of telephone.
Wait. Oh, okay.
Yeah, like green character.
With it, that's a ghost.
Yeah, just like ghostly. I mean, are there any other sort of like? I mean, Undying kind of fits that mold, you know.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
in this-
wait, actually, off
In this game of telephone.
No, actually,
Offlane Undying with a mid doom. I think we're getting a little bit spicy. I think this is most definitely going to be a pretty traditional mid pick.
There's
Yeah.
no
I actually don't
fucking
hate
way.
the Death Prophet, but it feels a little bit. I don't
Isn't
know.
this a cracked OD game?
It hasn't been banned.
Is it though for Blorp?
No, for afternoon.
Kind of true, but like once you toss the soul bind onto him, his life is over.
Okay.
And Wraith
I've never
King,
seen that map.
like, okay, so one thing I learned recently from watching some of the professional games is that OD has been such a difficult, like, kind of nut to crack, right? Because nobody really understands kind of, like, what you're supposed to do against that stupid ass, like, 6-minute meteor hammer he goes around. Surprise, surprise, you run at him. And who better to enable a run at you lineup other than Grimstroke? Wraith King doesn't care if you get him at first, and there is Razor. I think this is a really
It's a
nice pick.
lifestealer counter.
But I don't know how it's gonna do up against a Brewmaster. I feel like Brewmaster can just toss you up in the air, but I mean, then again, the whole Razor game plan is always to just get that BKB run in and just not give a fuck. Of course, all three of these heroes can make use of Bloodlust very well as Inkswell, so very nice combos coming out from Blorp Unlimited. I like this draft.
5 seconds remain.
Yeah, this seems fairly well rounded. I was a little worried about the lack of range, but I think Razor's a really good hero to kind of fix that, and it's really good against the Lifestealer as well. You just link this guy. What's he gonna do? can't run at you, and that's all Lifestealer wants to do is run
Yeah,
at you.
I think this is one of the classic lifestealer counters because I mean what do you do?
Well, we're gonna see what afternoon
Ooh,
mercenaries think.
interesting.
Clinks
So
mid.
mid flinks.
I just kind of feel like you won't be able to stand up against the rest of the side of Blorp Unlimited. Like how I understand the like stand and deliver bit and hold your ground, but I don't know. Like that's kind of what it's looking like, right? Because like afternoon mercenaries, they want to stand their ground with the brewmaster. Brewlings, they want Lifestealer to stand and hit away, and they want the rest to kind of fight into this overwhelming AoE of like Jakiro and the Lion laying down spells and Praetor with the fire out as well from the skeletons. But I don't know. This feels like it's a draft that could really easily fall apart for the mercenaries if they're not careful.
Now, Benji, who is more swagged out?
Who is more swagged out?
I mean,
definitely, I would have to. Oh, it's actually a very tough one.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with I think Radiant for a couple of reasons, and I'll tell you as to why. First of all, Olga Jakira set. We were looking for that. Eye melting has delivered, so very happy. Also, that Wraith King is very nice. I'm not familiar with this chest piece, but it's looking swaggy, and the sword is actually the sword that I also use. It's very nice. And then on the Dire team, there's one thing that I just cannot excuse, and it's the Lifestealer using the gold Immortal.
Yeah.
Everyone knows that you should really use the red one. It's much nicer looking. It's much more coherent with the theme, so I'm gonna have to go with Radiant.
Yeah, I feel like you just. I mean, the only real excuse is if you're colorblind, and if you are colorblind, I'm sorry about your loss. But apart from that, really boo to the purple one. I mean, boo to the gold one. The gold one is shit. As we get into the game, actually, everybody have any other useless comments to make before we start the game?
Double Jakiro. As is being pointed out in the old chat.
Indeed.
We have Jakiro versus real Jakiro.
Yeah, I mean,
that beats. I'm sure you got a useless comment or two.
I respect the classic Jakiro, and I also respect the gold Lifestealer. As a colorblind person myself, as a colorblind individual, a little offended by Mikey's comments, but I'm going to let him slide since he's on the come up as one of Singapore's premier casters. I don't want to ruin his career.
You don't want to get him cancelled.
Yeah.
The colorblind community is going to come after me.
Did this smoke a little deep? It might run out before they find a hero.
Yeah, this smoke was popped very early, like you said. They could ward up though, but they definitely have a very strong level 1 if they find him. And X2, that is definitely the kill that you want to get, but that is not the skill you want to miss. It doesn't really matter though, they have 2 point and click stuns, and they're going to be able to take down X2. I think we can just call him 2. I don't know, let me double check, because I know there's a player called 2 in the league, but I'm not sure which team he is. Let me just double check. As a nice little first blood for the side of Blorp. Nice little smoke play as well.
Going to the Razor as well, which I believe is going on the mid lane, which is always a nice, that's the kind of hero that you want your first blood to go on. Put on one of the cores, let him get to his next item timing just that a little bit faster is always useful.
Right, okay, I literally have no idea who X2 is, so we'll just forget about that as we get into the game nice and proper. Who do you think... Okay, look, so I'm trying to work on my early game questions because I don't know what to talk about in the early game. Any tips?
No.
Thank you.
No, I think you talk about the lanes, talk about if there's kill potential in any of these lanes, How does this mid matchup go typically?
No, I don't want to talk about the lanes.
What do you think Team X needs to do?
I feel like the lanes
to sort of
are boring as fuck. Yeah, how about let's talk about what the game plan is from both sides?
Yeah, that's what I was about to suggest.
Alright, are you gonna tell me what the game plan is from both sides, or are you just gonna parrot?
I think I'm gonna need a more specific question. I think from my play-by-play caster.
Alright. I mean, since you asked for it, I'll very gladly deliver. What did you have for lunch today?
What did I have for lunch today? I had. Do you want me to actually tell you what I had for lunch, or should we actually?
Wait, why am I not like? I'm asking a question. I mean, come on, get it.
Okay, I had avocado on toast with chicken and fried eggs.
Alright, very nice. As Ray Delicious is getting a stun straight to his face for lunch. This is not the meal that you want to start your day. As he gets beaten back straight to his tower. Salve up though, he's gonna be fine. And I kind of like this Okay, so Beats, gonna have to ask you this. You mentioned you are familiar with the Jakiro Ogre situation. Do you agree with this kind of shift? Because they've opted to put the Ogre as 4 instead. You know me, I'm a big promoter of Ogre 5. Do you think this is for the better or for the worse?
I think if this guy gets a Midas, it's definitely for the better. It's something we simply love to see. It's something in my pubs I love to see all the time. I think it just, it really fits the theme of the, he's cosplaying Jakiro, and Jakiro's playing their 4. Why wouldn't you want to play the 4 for your team?
Ah, that's true. You kind of gotta get into
Makes sense.
character. This some like, this basically. I don't know if you guys are aware, but we're actually
Ooh,
playing
bot
the
lane.
Cheesehead
Cheesehead Greg.
Cheese.
I don't know what to refer to him as because there's 2
No,
Gregs.
you just said Cheesehead Greg in the most
I did say
concerned way
Cheesehead
ever.
Greg.
Yeah,
Like I was really worried about.
yeah, you're like
There's genuine
Cheesehead
word for a second.
Greg, not Cheesehead Greg. Okay, but I was gonna say I literally don't know what I was gonna say. We're gonna move on from whatever point I was trying to make as
All of these, I mean, it doesn't look like anyone has a particular advantage in the lanes. Since we had that first blood, it's been pretty static. We did see, PMA Ray Billy Shears on the Jakiro take a lot of damage and almost go down. But since then, it's been a little bit of a stalemate.
these
I will say-
names are ballers. Like these guys have baller ass names for real.
I'm a big fan of the art of perfect last hitting and Liberace up here in the top lane. I mean, maybe not exactly perfect, but he's been putting on a clinic so far in hitting these creeps. Oh,
Wow.
never mind. He just missed one. Liberace is no longer the best carry in the game.
Nah, he's just a fucking
For
fraud.
that, we're going to have to move back down to Wraith King, see how he's doing.
Doing absolutely nothing as the lane is pushed in actually. This is such a scary lane to go up against though, like Brewmaster and Jakiro. Like one Cinder
Yeah.
Brew and you are not moving. You
It's,
literally
the
are
kill
standing
threat.
still. Oh,
Pretty intense.
Here comes the skills already. They're gonna prop a level 2 Cinder Brew, but it's not doing a lot of damage, not as much as I expected. He's gonna get blasted here. Oh, slight miss, Cheesehead Greg. The cap's too low, it's obstructing his vision. Somebody asked this man to tip his cap upwards. Or maybe it's all the cheese in his head, who knows, but not
I think
really
I think you're onto something there. I think it's a probably a combination of the two.
What if his head
If I
is
was to
made-
guess.
would that be an educated guess yet again? Are we using your education in this guess, or are we omitting
Yeah, I
that?
think the education, the education is definitely being used to its fullest extent at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, I think big winner of this laning stage so far is Praetor, right? Because they last picked this Klings and they probably know that the Razor is going in the mid. And this is... I always like to see the direct last picks, right? Because it basically gives you an idea of what Afternoon Mercenaries actually think counters the Razor in lane or counters the Razor in game. It is this Klings for Praetor, and he's looking to just kind of be this... Like, Razor wants to run in, right? But you're gonna run into, like, what? Skeletons just hitting away at you for free.
Yeah.
And you can't really steal the damage of the skeletons, right? Like, you're never gonna outrun or chase down the Klings. So I think this is a really nice answer for him, and he's sitting quite pretty in terms of the network as well. The last hits, because Klings can keep his distance, so it's not really one that Razor can just walk up and static link down.
Ooh, X2 on the top lane could be going down.
Oh,
Nah, I just managed to run away.
oh, you mean bot lane? Why are you lying to me?
Oh, sorry.
Come
See, when
on,
it gets up
man.
to here, I get confused. My bad.
I mean, Billy Shell still has a cell for his off lane.
He
so
wants
very
to
nice
use
done.
that.
Wants to
Recognizing
use it.
that he gets by with a little help from his friends over here.
It wouldn't be beats without a little music reference. Oh, DD for Bear Lord. Could this be a gank up to the top lane potentially?
Alright, I don't know if I even watched this last hit thing because, like you said, we were like Liberace, not really the best carry at the moment. Ooh, a nice little gank coming in though. Bear Lord with the static link and plasma field. The slows are out. Greg Sure trying to run away with the stun though. Was it a bait? Liberace now with the rage trying to TP. Wait. I don't know if you can run from this. Ooh, Bear Lord finishes off Greg, but I kind of would have liked him to see him turn around and just slap down that life stealer. That's definitely the bigger kill there.
Here's a noob question. Oh, bottom lane?
Oh, bottom lane, Cheesehead Greg finally falls from the weight of his sins and very unfortunate situation here. At least he's gonna be able to take a breather and think about what he wants to do when he comes back to this absolute hellhole of a lane.
I think this lane gets pretty tough to sit in now that the level 3 Cinderbrew, that's
Yep.
oh god, level 3 Cinderbrew plus a dual breath and a liquid fire hitting you every so often. It's just, this is not a fun lane to be a carry, and I can tell you that for free.
Both teams just kind of looking to pressure the opposite tower right now, looks like.
I mean, that yes, pressure aside though, like what is a Doom gonna do to your tower? Real shit. Absolutely.
Tank it
nothing.
for the catapult?
Absolutely not. No, he's just.
Yes, but you can see him. Yeah, he's.
Wait, what is this inventory going? Like he has 3 enchanted mangoes and 2 clarities. This man wants his regeneration.
He's trying to stay healthy.
I mean, it's not looking too hot for him right now. He's quite behind on levels despite having 2 assists and the devour. So meanwhile, Liberace hitting that level 6 already. So kind of scary for Rigby over here as this Doom. Liberace being stunned up as he hits away onto the Doom yet again. I feel like this lifestealer is just having such a free lane.
Yeah, it hasn't really been. I mean, the only time we sort of saw him in trouble was when that DD Razor came over to the top lane, but was able to escape that without any trouble. And yeah, hasn't really been pressured out by this Ogre Doom dual lane.
With the stroke of fate, lands it onto X2, but X2 with that ring of protection as well as the phase moves completed can tank so much. This bad boy can tank so much physical damage as he just walks away. Okay. Walking back forward though, needs to be careful. Could die out to a stun, but it's Greg who falls in the top side. Ice is trying to walk forward though, but that's a Cinderbrew. The stick up and the stun as well, but once again the armor so much there from X2. Now Ice tanking a little bit, has to pop the Inkswell to push him away, but falling a little low to the liquid fire. Is it enough? She said Greg, no! He tanks the death for his carry. Ice is gonna stay alive, but at what cost? Cheesehead Greg once again hits the grave.
I think 10 minutes is going to be a really big mark in this game. 2 catapult waves coming out. I think Radiant is going to be looking to use that timing to push this T1 tower top, because Wraith King needs a lane. So being able to open up this lane for him would be huge.
Alright, Cheesehead Greg rotating to the top side though, but Liberace, he's going to be wary of what's going on, and Greg is here to safeguard his carry as well.
Rigby could be in trouble.
Trees, though. Rigby being stunned out. Now Liberace trying to go out onto Rigby here. But both teams just kind of throwing out spells and walking away. They don't really want to commit too hard here. And Bearlord, he's walking towards the top side. Does have a lot of mana to work with, but one plasma field can really make a big difference here if they're not too careful. But yeah, they're all running low on resources, so they're going to opt to back off. Meanwhile, I feel like Praetor just been having quite an easy time in this lane, not really pressured by the Razor and able to just farm up to his heart's content, working his way towards that Maelstrom flying out right now.
Yeah, he's been, I mean, potentially not the net worth lead quite comparable to the pretty large CSD that he currently has.
Doom out
And
though.
there,
Have they
Liberace in
got their
trouble.
hands on this lifestealer? Yes, they do. Doom out, very nicely done for Ray B, even through the rage, and Bearlord clips him with a nicely timed plasma field. Now it's Ray Billy Shears, poor little Jakiro throws down the Macropire, but gonna die right in it, as we manage to take the top tower. Like you said, Beats, the 10-minute catapult is a pivotal time, and Bearlord with the rotation capitalizes on it nicely.
I have to say, I really love this Observer Ward by the top tier one for Blorp Unlimited. It's not one you think about. No. Go a bit further. Up. That one there. No, this is not one you usually think about. You usually think about this one sort of between the trees, just past that. But the one right next to the tower is a nice one that we don't see often. So, nice innovation from Blorp Unlimited with their wards in it. It helps them net a couple of crucial kills, especially one of that lifestealer who was starting to sort of get a little bit comfortable. He's not so comfortable now, I think, in this game.
Yeah, I mean, he kind of invested in trying to win out the lane with this Orb of Corrosion, right? As much as he can. As much as it is a very strong item, it is quite a chunky gold investment, right? And now he's gonna kind of be sort of relegated back to the jungle with that item, working his way towards that armlet, but it's definitely gonna be delayed.
And it looks like Razor just recognizing how strong he is right now. At this point in the game, probably the strongest hero on the map right now. Just with the static link and the amount of damage he's able to take.
2.6k gold saved up as well. What do you think? What do you think he's going for as his first item?
A blink.
What do you think?
He might go straight BKB here.
A blink.
I would like to see a blink BKB Razor. Just blink in, press static, press his ultimate, Eye of the Storm, and then just plasma field. Because I mean, okay.
They're just charging forward right now.
They literally don't care. They just run in on Bearlord's directions. And I just want to say, I feel like both teams are sort of recognizing, like, you know, Afternoon Mercenaries, this lineup, you can't exactly run into it. And we see the emphasis on that in the skill build, right? Stroke of Fate maxed out. They're not maxing the Inkswell. They know they can't run in. They're just using that for the value point. Same thing for... I mean, Eye Melting, this is a very normal build, but Bearlord as well, not opting to max out the static lane, instead the plasma field for the chip damage and the poke. Ooh, sure, could find a kill here with the Finger of Death, doesn't even need it, just gonna auto attack Cheesehead Greg down. Where's the last hit? There it is, Inkswell out to finish him, do some damage before he goes down though. Greg Sher with a nice little wraparound pickup.
Nice patience from Greg Sher. You know, a lesser lion would have popped that wand and got the finger kill, but he realizes, you know, we can save this for another occasion, we don't need it. And just hit him with the right clicks, and I think a little bit of an overextension from Blorp. You can see them tanking them tower shots, and it was doing some heavy damage. I don't think they're quite at the point that they can withstand a tier 2 at this moment, but a smoke up from Afternoon Mercenaries in an interesting spot.
I was gonna actually point that out because I feel like after that pick, right, I feel like some of the side of Blorp, they're gonna be lingering around as we see here. So you could really try and move forward with a smoke, but they're gonna try and wrap around Bearlord now, pushing forward.
Ooh, I
with
like
tower.
this push.
Like you said, the Razor feeling strong at this present moment, has so much move speed, but can he get out of this situation? Absolutely not. Stunned, and there is the finger from Greg Sher. Doesn't even claim the kill with it though. Praetor is the one to pick it up on its counterpart, and now they're looking towards
Let's get the stack though.
Yeah, very nicely done. Does he get a stack? Yes, he does.
Yes.
Stacked up and ready to go. Greg Sher is ready to party, and so is the rest of the Afternoon Mercenaries as they look towards the mid tower. And they're like, Razor, you pressuring my tower? No, not in my house. She said Greg though, and it's so by silence as well. Liberace doesn't
the double doom.
The rage in time, and now 2 dooms out onto both cores. PMA, Praetor first of all, X2 finally pops the final split, but it's not in time. Liberace though, he's fighting through the doom. They managed to answer with the kill on this Ogre Magi. Poor little 2-headed dumb hero imposter gonna fall. Liberace though stunned up. Where's the magic? Where is the damage? It's not there as he gets the infest out. They end up trading out 2 supports for now, and still X2 trying to do the damage in the backline, manages to take down Rigby, but trades his life for it. It's a 2 for 3 at the present moment, favoring the side of Afternoon Mercenaries. It looks so drastic for them at the start of the fight, but they managed to just fight through it.
Yeah, I loved that from Liberace on the lifestealer there. Just, I think a lot of carries would have been like, okay, I'm doomed, I gotta get out of here. But he continues fighting on, and he doesn't get punished for it.
Absolutely, and I mean, that's just a chat maneuver from Liberace over there, right? It's like, it takes a lot for a man to stand there and fight through doom, but he quite literally just does not care at all. He understands that, you know, that's not really under a lot of threat, and that nice little infest escape as well to get him out of the hands of ice.
Yeah, you still got Feast, you still got Ghoul Frenzy. What's Doom gonna do to you?
Wait,
I mean, it literally mutes your passive abilities, so I don't know what the hell.
That's not true.
You're literally just lying. As X2 is coming a bit far forward, but has the Cinder Brew and a nice double stun. Greg Sher gets the Razor on the tail end of that, and now Ice forced to run away. He has to reincarnate, but he doesn't want to stand around and pop it just like that. I think X2, the stun out, multicast, falling a little low from the Ignite. He ends up ticking down to the nice little place, Stroke of Fate from Cheesehead Greg, sorry, mixing my Gregs up at the moment. It's gonna be a trade out. Once again, they get the important kill on the Razor, and like you were wondering what he was gonna get. He actually goes for a boost of travel, but at this point, I don't know how much it's working out for him. Oh, okay. The stun, the case as well. There's no way they're gonna track this Rigby Doom down. As he turns around, actually wants to get the kill on the Greg Sher. This poor little lion, you might have bitten off a bit more than you can chew. And he's gonna actually be killed by neutral creeps instead. Rigby not able to get the last hit off in time. And these annoying little voles just strike him down with the poisoned weapon.
So unlucky. I'd be pretty sad if I got denied by a freaking vole.
Not more like skill. Okay.
That's true, that's true. Very
Blorp
skilled from Greg.
walking
Yeah,
up in
a
the
lot of
lane.
heroes heading up to the bot lane.
Immense slow, but
Primal
X2,
split.
he's gonna pop the primal split. They know that the rest of the side of Blorp is split up, but here comes the backline jumpers, Rigby and Ice. They just pop that Shakira wide open. The answer is the kill of this Razor right now as X2 forced to run away the Earth Panda. Liberace now doomed up as, oh, not doomed up, I'm lying. Wait, who did he pop?
Oh, he is doomed
yeah,
up.
it is doomed. Sorry, I couldn't see the disable, but Liberace now he's under so much threat. He's falling low from the DPS and it's able to land
back
in
to the
time.
Razor.
Blorp, they're running so far forward and they have no fear whatsoever. The plasma field as well. Bearlord cleans it all up and Praetor, he's late to the party. He had to run all the way from the top side, didn't have a TP available, and comes back in time to see fall on his team fall. And what looked like it would have been a nice pick off with that primal split pop. Nicely turned from the side of Blorp. They just jumped the back lines immediately and wiped them out.
Yeah, and one of the key things there was the immediate buyback from this Razor, knowing he can instantly reconnect to the fight with the Boots of Travel, and you see him walk in there that fight with full health, full mana, and completely clean up everything. And now he is going for the BKB, so bots into the BKB. I like it.
Yeah, and once again, I just want to say very nice recognition from the side of Blorp, right? Because one of the weaknesses of their draft is that they want to run at you and they want to run in, but they've kind of skewed it towards more of the poke style, you know, like we said, with their skills, with their itemization, they're waiting patiently for the BKB or the Razor before they really fully commit in. And Cheesehead Greg as well, with that 4-star completer, can get himself out of sticky situations just like the one we just saw. Eye melting as well. It's a common item on the Ogre Magi, but getting the Aether Lens first is a clear investment that you just want to be soft. More like hiding in the back lines and throwing out your spells rather than being that front line running into chaos for no reason. And I really like this recognition from him.
Yeah, there we go. Aether Lens complete, he disassembles the Arcanes for it. And now, 4k lead for Blorp. Yes, indeed. 4k lead for Blorp, but still Clink's top of the net worth. Has not had that much of an impact this game. He is going for the Lincolns, obviously very good against the Doom.
Spot X2 mid though, can they get the jump before he runs away? Gonna pop the face boots, but there is the Aether Lens bonus cast range. Gets the stun off and now Inkswell forward. Getting stunned up is Bearlord, but the Inkswell gonna pop the Infest. Is he gonna keep him alive? It is! He manages to pop the final split, and now Blorp, they're in a lot of trouble as the Razor. That's a dieback for him, 70 seconds on the sidelines. Eye Melton being tossed up, drop back down, and it's gonna be a nice set of kills. They end up losing Greg Shell on the sidelines for it, but really nicely played from Liberace to keep his Brewmaster alive and gets him out of that sticky situation.
Saving Private X2, the last minute infest, so that he can get the primal split off, and it really turns the fight. As you said, they find the Razor, they find the Ogre. Only a 2-for-1, but as you mentioned, a dieback on that Razor makes it maybe closer to a 3-for-1, to be honest.
Yeah, it really kills their tempo on Radiant side as well. Like, at this point, the Razor needs the BKB if they're going to make a move like that again. And he's kind of put himself behind a little bit.
They could
there.
get a nice wrap here onto Rigby, but meanwhile, it is okay. Liberace looking to be caught out at this present moment, but manages to scurry away with the rage. And Rigby, he's going to be the one fingered down, caught out and wrapped up on. Whoops, indeed. He gets a bit of over-aggressive positioning, if you ask me. He has no business being so far out. Maybe he felt a bit confident with this ward scouting them out. But a nice little wraparound move from the side of the Mercenaries. They managed to pick him up. And I wanted to say, like, Praetor sitting very pretty throughout this entire game, only dying once so far, and has been able to farm up that Dragonlance after that Maelstrom, now working his way towards that Lincolns. And after that's up, it's going to be so much harder to get your hands on him.
Praetor has to sort of step up and be the main carry for this afternoon Mercenary side. With Liberace, he had a great start in line, but since then, really not that much progression. He has the armlet finished in the corrosion,
running a bit far forward without the support of his team. A nice 3-man ice buff though keeps them at bay. And now X2 has the primal split, he pops it, and now the turn is there. Cheesehead Greg, first one to fall, Praetor being looked up on, but he goes invis, so they don't have any detection. Bearlord being chased down by the primal split Brewlings, but it's gonna be Ice who manages to clean up the kill on the backline yet again. Him and Rigby keep jumping this Shakira and making his life hard. But Praetor has the invis. Do they have the detection? No, they don't. Liberace with the Doom out. Didn't get the toggle off in time, not that it really would have mattered. And now Praetor is trying to scurry away. He should see Ice here, but he has to know the Reincarnate is up. They need to be so careful. And just when it looked like the afternoon Mercenaries, they could take a nice fight, a nice hold from the side of Blorp, managed to fend off the Mercs from their side of the map. And now Stun out. Oh,
Great.
it's just an illusion, but they're in onto Roach.
Yeah, I don't really know how fast they take this. I think they could use a bit of a bloodlust on one of the there we go. But
I don't
yeah,
think
I
they
don't
can
know
do
how
it without
fast
Ice
this is.
hitting away on it as they
No, I
thinking
think
that's the
it's
tank hit, but it's not really working out. They're gonna give up on it, which I think is a wise move. Yeah, record scratch indeed. That's a bit awkward.
Yeah, but back to almost. I mean, Nebworth lead now only 1k. But still, Libra actually quite far down on the farm. I'd say Praetor really has to be, really has to do it all, and that's going to be a lot easier once he gets this Lincoln's, which I believe is being shipped out to him.
Yeah, I think big thing to point out
yes.
as well is while this Doom is still looking towards the BKB, he doesn't have it completed just yet. Silver Edge just picked up from Ice, so he's going to be able to kind of just disable that Life Stealer's passives as well as the Drunken Brawler if he so chooses. And I think last but not least, the biggest thing to point out, the reason why it seemed like X2 had that split up because he has that Aggregates completed. That means 2 charges on this Primal Split, causing his fight uptime to be a lot higher.
Such a Brewmaster item feels like an every game purchase. Just having that 2 charges of Primal Split is just a bit of a game changer. You no longer have this big cooldown you need to fight around. You can just sort of go whenever, and hopefully will enable Afternoon Mercenaries to take a few more fights. And with this Lincoln Sphere, I think they're going to want to try and take some in the near future.
Yeah, I think something interesting to point out is I feel like X2 on this Brewmaster, he rushed the Aghanims, but then he dips back for the urn, so maybe favoring a Spirit Vessel, but right now he's going to be queuing up that Refresher immediately. I don't really know how I feel about this. I would have liked to see something like a Lotus Orb perhaps, because I feel like a Lotus Orb just screws the entire side of Blorp up.
Yeah, I don't know how useful the Refresher is when you sort of have that, because it feels like it's not that useful when you've already got the 2 charges. Maybe only in a pinch, but I think you can sort of fight around having 2 charges much better than you can just 1.
Right, so the
yeah,
idea
not
is that
100% sure about the Refresher.
based on my own understanding of Brewmaster, because there's this Singaporean player called J-Dog who I watch quite a bit, and he's the 7k Brewmaster spammer. He always gets Refresher because just having 4 charges makes you this unstoppable menace, right? Like you can literally out 4 times in one fight. And that might sound a bit redundant, but when you think about how you can kind of pull back yourself to the main hero and pop back in, it kind of feels like you're changing form instead of like just a dedicated transformation ulti, right? Like you can just kind of pop back to your main hero, add a Thunderclap and switch back to the Brewlings just to sort of like re-summon them in a way. Like you said though, with this move, actually now it's the side of Blorp who have smoked up. They want to make something happen with their new item pickups. They don't actually have the BKB on the Doom yet, which is why I thought they were waiting for. But the blink forward, Greg with the swift feet gets himself out of harm's way. Rigby slightly mistiming and misplacing that blink there. And it's going to cost them this smoke gank. Nicely dodged out from Greg over there.
Very nice. Fancy feet with that. I think freshly, not quite, maybe not freshly, but recently picked up Blink Dagger. Getting out of the way of that one. And Praetor's just been sort of doing a job pushing in this bot lane. He has the shard now as well. Oh, I'm gonna
he pops out.
a little poke onto their lord.
Actually, Ice taking quite a while to throw that stun out, so ends up not letting. I mean, not that it really would have mattered. Praetor. Oh,
They're looking in trouble here.
Careful, Praetor with the fire out. He's gonna take down this Razor, and now Ice
Expecting the Invis Clinks.
Yeah, Ice trying to do what he can now, but all he's gonna find is one skeleton archer as well. Ooh, you need to be. Ooh, Ice, that was almost your reincarnate. You need to be a bit more careful. This Clinks is level 20 and he's here to party. Okay, they could turn it right back around though, but BKB being popped on the sidelines. Rigby pops his, and now the entire back line of the Afternoon Mercenaries, they need to run away from this Doom. Primal Split is popped though, and Eye Melting is popped. The Praetor runs him out of mana. He used the stun, and that kind of caused him to lose the reincarnate.
He can pop his wand.
Yeah, and so quickly things fall apart on the side of Blorp. The buyback as well from the Razor, but is this
Buyback
gonna be a dieback? He's not gonna survive. Ultra kill for Praetor. This is not looking good. Praetor is running forward as well. Eye Melting, you might have the Aether Lens, but you can't run far away. The Rampage is there. Rigby back in with the Doom. but that is not the person you need to kill. It's not Liberace, he's just a bait. It is Praetor on this Clinks who is doing the work. They are gonna get Liberace, so no deny coming out from X2 there. But nicely done from Praetor, putting the team on his back. Like you said, the Lincolns just making him so hard to keep their hands on, and he just makes it work.
Oh, that Wraith King was so sad. He had the wand. He was 10 mana short and he had a 4 wand. If he pops that and gets reincarnation, maybe it's a different fight with the Razor buying back as well. Blorp committing heavy into that, and it just doesn't pan out for them. And as you said, Praetor going mad, the double rampage. I think he should have stuck around to try and deny Liberace. Though would have been a triple rampage, but I mean, I'm sure I'll be happy with the double. And now almost at the Daedalus already. I think it's being full Daedalus.
Nope, he has it. 27 minutes in, already slaughtered up with the Daedalus as well as Lincoln's Praetor's looking like an absolute monster. And we're starting to see a bit of the issue that is presented by Blorp Unlimited's draft, right? We're talking about this Rigby, Doom, BKB and how he can negate so much damage from the backline, but you have not found a way to kind of deal with this Clinks at this present moment. You don't have the armor. No, you don't have the armor on Doom, you don't have the armor on Razor, and you most definitely do not have the armor on this Wraith King. This strength carry doesn't have a lot to speak of. Yes, he gets quite a chunk when he pops on this armlet, but it's not nearly enough against the overwhelming physical damage coming out from this Clinks and his Burning Barrage right now.
Praetor just an absolute monster so far, and we've seen the Dooms a few times now come out onto Liberace, but I mean, he's not the one with all the net worth.
Yeah.
I mean, Praetor has double his net worth right now, and he's the one dealing all the damage. So obviously a bit difficult to get the Doom onto him with the Lincolns, but I think that's what you need to be doing.
Yeah, and this is
or
so
at least
painful
trying
to
to.
play for the supports, right? Because she said Greg and I melting, they quite literally live up to the Ogre's name, where as soon as they show their face, they're just gonna get melted by these skeleton archers, just scattered probably all across the battlefield at this point. I just want to point out, like, at this point, the Razor is bought back 2 times in the game, and really showing the difference in principles, right? Even though he was so active on the map early on, the early buybacks he used to try and gain his team the favor in the fights are coming back to bite him. Look at his net worth, only 8.6k. He's looking more like an offlaner. Here comes Praetor though. They could get the Duma onto him, but Rigby doesn't have it in the back pocket right now. Ice falling a little low. Bearlock out with the static link though. Praetor, has he gone a bit too far forward? Yes, he has. Bearlock with the BKB strikes him down, gets the line as well. And here comes the reincarnate Wraith King striking down Liberace just when things look dire for the Mercenaries, or just when things look dire for Blorp. They turn it around now. Baja Blast, or X2 rather, with the split finally. Trying to do
reincarnate.
Yeah, doesn't have the reincarnate, but no detection as well. Billy Shears can't get his dust on that Wraith King, and he's gonna slip out of harm's reach. Ends up being a very favorable fight for the side of Blorp Unlimited, as if they can get Rigby here, it could be even better, but the Blink is gonna go off cooldown. He brings back the Doom though. Actually, I'll take the man fight, but doesn't respect the Jakiro in the side. Perhaps hoping that his Ogre will come a bit far forward, but not there in time. Here comes She Said Greg though, trying to capitalize on this Doom at the present moment. Ainswell missing again, or rather, Stroke of Fate missing again, but the Doom kicking out. He has a primal split, he pops it just in time, and now gonna turn it around. But here comes this Wraith King TP. He needs to be careful about how he uses the split here, could easily get picked off. And yep, sending the Storm Panda away, probably gonna relocate to that one. But Eye Melting has his eyes on him. This Brewmaster could be in a bit of trouble if he's not too careful. He's trying to go back to the Storm Panda, surely. Yep, okay, so X2 gets out of this situation. It looked like Ogre was guarding the perimeter at first, but just goes back for the D-Ward, and X2 is gonna get out of this situation alive.
It was a pretty long fight, and even though, I mean, as you said, Blorp Unlimited managed to take down the Clinks, the big hero, but they lose a couple for it. They lose their Razor, and I think they lose their Ogre as well, and then also in sort of the post-fight shenanigans, they lose the Doom for the Jakiro. So I think even though they did lose their Clinks and a pretty heavy bounty going the way of the Doom, I don't think you're too alarmed if you're afternoon Mercenaries.
Indeed, indeed.
I think perhaps Clinks going for Nullify next. I think I would still like to see a BKB on him, just to be super, because I think he took a lot of damage from that macro power.
Yeah, I think it's just a matter of positioning, right? Because as this Clinks, you do so much damage, you need to, but here's the thing about Clinks, as soon as you get looked at, it's so easy for you to get killed. You can't really be the one running in like that. You need to make sure you keep your distance and do the damage with the barrage from afar. You don't want to be running up into a Razor, because that's his wet dream. If he can just stand there and static link you and you're running straight into all his damage, that's when he can do the most work. Praetor though.
Might be collapsed on here.
quick on the finger with that skeleton walk. Rigby has the dust pops here a bit too early though, and Praetor able to scurry out of harm's way. They scan as well, but they're not gonna be able to find him. That's a 5-man commitment trying to find this Clinks. They're not gonna get their hands on him though.
No sentries, no sort of true sight around the area, so able to get out scot-free. And
yeah, I mean,
just,
they see 5 in the bot side, so they head straight for Roche and Liberace. Even though he isn't the quote-unquote true carry here, he's more than happy to take the Aegis for himself, more than likely, as he grabs it. Yep, as expected.
that is first for isn't it? So no shard. And yeah, I think I like that. You enables Liberace to be a bit more of a hero. He does have the Deso in the armor, so he's not, he's not a worthless hero by any means. And hopefully this will allow him to do a bit more in the fights. X2 does have the refresher finish now as well. So as you mentioned, 4 primal split charges. This man is going to be.
Oh, this could be dicey though, because he spot
primal
out
split
this
all the
this
time.
end of the side of
Praetor not here,
Mercenaries
though.
with this nice ward. They're straight onto Greg with the damage and Ice. He's gonna pop his reincarnate for now, but Billy Shears like someone under fire. Here comes X2, but doomed up is Billy Shears actually. Interesting doom choice. But now the primal split rulings are gonna start to run around havoc. They're starting
Here
from
comes
low though.
Praetor.
They need to be careful. Praetor in with the damage. X2 though, he has a second split to work with. If he pops this refresher, there it is. And Praetor just doing the damage in the backline. So much coming out from those searing arrows. Strikes down 3 on the side of Blorp, and they're forced to run away. Bearlord has the movement speed to get out of that situation, get out of dodge. But X2, that nice little refresher, keeping him alive, and Liberace just standing strong and fighting away.
This looks like high ground for afternoon Mercenaries. You got DD on this Clinks, no buyback on Doom, the Razor, or the Wraith King if they were to theoretically go down.
Yeah, DD as
this
well.
looks dangerous.
Yeah, a bit of a questionable Doom target there from Rigby. I understand that the Jakiro has been such an annoying part of the team, right? The Mercenaries, but I don't think you can afford to Doom him. I feel like he has to come out on the Brewmaster or even the Life Stealer still. Like Bearlord, no, not like this. You gotta respect the DD, you gotta respect the Nullifier. And Liberace is gonna fall, but that's just the Aegis. You can reincarnate, I can do that too, Ice. Get out of my house. Trying to push him away now. That's the reincarnate from the real Wraith King. He's gonna have to run away from this situation as he can't get out. Silver Edge though, not gonna be that effective against the Nullifier, but still manages to get him out of this situation for now. But Ice Path is there and the punches are there. Liberace cleans him up. Buybacks coming in hard and heavy from Blorp. They want to try and turn it around. Rigby doesn't have Doom to work with though. That means X2 gets his ultimate off in time, and the Brewmaster Brewlings, Praetor, he doesn't care at all. He wants another rampage, but he's gonna get taken down before he can. Punished a bit for the over-aggression there, and here comes the Soulbind. They need to be careful about this Doom coming out in 37 seconds, but so does Cheesehead Greg. I'm the real Greg in this house. Fingers him down for the namesake, and nicely done from the side of Afternoon Mercenaries. They run their Clinks a little bit too far forward, but they managed to walk away the Rex and kills on all of the members of Blorp Unlimited. It's not looking pretty for the side of Blorp.
Yeah, instantly 14k lead in this one. Already a 97% win probability for the side of Absolute Mercenaries. This Clinks is just taken over. Obviously diving a little bit too far, but I think that can be forgiven when you come up with 23 kill involvements on this Clinks, almost 6 slotted. I think I still would like to see the BKB at some point, but at this point I don't think it really matters. It just feels like Blorp just don't have the damage to kill him. I mean, you have a lot of targets to worry about. It's not just this Clinks anymore. This Life Stealer scaling up, going to be going into the AC next. You've got this Brewmaster wreaking havoc, and then just a casual line with a blink dagger that's going to ruin your day. So I really love what Afternoon Mercenaries are doing here, and I think they're in a real commanding position in this game right now.
Yeah, if you take a look at Liberace, he kind of is like so little away from this completed Assault Cuirass, which is really going to firm them up against the physical damage coming out from the Wraith King as well as the Razor, right? And from there, how do you really fight against them? I like this gem pickup from X2 because he wants to choke out the map and starve them out. And maybe he even noticed like earlier that fight, maybe they had to jump because of the way they kind of hopped onto that lion. So he just wants to make sure that doesn't happen again, right? Because even though the fight kind of went well for them, like they don't want to lose their backline control support so early on. They want to keep them alive and fighting and get those high impact ice pass and disables out onto these cores once they don't have BKB. It seems like they think the solution
Smoke
is
up.
Yeah, they kind of think the solution is a Heaven's Helmet because Rigby has one and they're not queuing one up as well. But that's not going to stop the Skeleton Archers, but we'll see how effective that is. They're smoking up, they're drawing a line though. The side of Afternoon Mercs, they're split at the current moment. They need to be so careful. Here comes Ice. But they should be able to spot him with the gem though. They see him. So here comes the fight. Soulbind immediately. And Doom, is it there? Rigby being... Okay, Rigby throws it out, I believe. And both of them are doomed at the current moment. But Liberace managed to get his rage off in time. Not gonna matter though, as Greg trying to run away. But those are two big picks coming out from the side of Blorp. Here comes the tick damage though. Is it there? Ice gonna get that final strike off. And he doesn't even get it. Eye melting takes it from right under his nose. But 3 really high impact kills from the side of Blorp, and they need to make something happen here with this kill. The gem as well dropped out, but they're ignoring it for now. Yeah,
I mean,
out coming out from Liberace.
Brayden's sitting high ground bot though, so I don't think they can really get much here.
Yeah, and here comes
and if they do, they're gonna lose it
as well, popping down that macro pyre, clearing the creep wave as well. Or anyone that would have come in, they're already TPing back though. Bearlord trying to defend with their boots of travels, but he has to be so careful of the damage that Praetor can do. Oh, and
really nice fight there. So Blorp Unlimited though. Oh, gem is going to be reclaimed by the Dire, it looks like.
Oh no,
but yeah, really nice fight.
Yeah, you say.
Yeah, really nice fight for Blorp Unlimited. They used their double doom. It was two really nice targets that
not like this, man. No, this is not how you want to go down. Praetor though, has he got a bit too far forward? The mass TP is coming out. They want to punish this Klings. The Heaven's Halberd as well, keeping him down for now. The Nullifier is out, but doesn't really do much when you can't auto attack. As 3 on the side of Blorp turn back to answer the kill onto their Razor. They come back in true fashion, but is this Wraith King caught out mid TP by the spots though? Here come the Disables. They're more than sufficient. Ice Puff as well. And here comes Lifestealer TPing in. Ice, he needs to be so careful.
It's respawned.
Has this Silver Edge though, but being picked off. And once again, doesn't have the Reincarnate. Already popped by these supports. Nice pick off from them. The mass TPs perhaps not respecting the fact that he's in a bit of a weird spot here and gets his TP cancelled, I believe. Yeah, his TP got cancelled and then he just gets picked off by the side of not PMA, I keep saying PMA. I mean to say Afternoon Mercenaries.
Afternoon Mercenaries, yeah. Still would love to see a BKB on this Clinks. I know I keep harping on about it, but I mean, you saw it there. He got stunned up, and Clinks is not a very tanky hero. Especially with no AC around. You've already popped the Lincolns and he's stunned. You know, he can't hit anything. You can't use sort of skeleton walk to get away. It's pretty rough if you're a Clinks in that scenario, which is why I would love to see the BKB. But still,
he finally cues it
after the Mercenaries.
So, your wish is his command.
Okay, nice. Yeah, I think the story of this game has really been every time Blorp gets something, Afternoon Mercenaries make it at least an even trade. It feels like just then they find the Clinks, which is really nice, but then instant return on the Wraith King. And every time that Blorp have sort of committed a lot to a fight and seem like they've won it, Afternoon Mercenaries always get a kill or a couple of kills to sort of turn it around. And yeah, it's still looking good for them, even though they lose their Clinks. Hopefully you get to BKB soon and they can just sort of go high ground and end this game with the next stages, I would imagine, which may respawn in 5 seconds.
Yeah, they have smoked up though. They want to try and make a move or maybe even sneak this Roche. What is the respawn time? It's going to be 43 seconds. So
40 seconds.
Posture around the pit. Here comes the smoke though. They got position on the high ground. They got the vision advantage as well. But X2, he's a bit far away. He's pushing out this creep wave. So they should know the Brewmaster is in mid. We're going to see how the rest of the side of Blorp react to this. They're paying out that cliff. They're unsure of whether they want to ward it though. They're being very careful. Fire shield now online from this Ogre as well. So they're going to block a lot of that Clinks' damage. That's 85% damage mitigation. But if they just pop their heads into the Roche pit in around 17 seconds, they could see that this is online. But now they have shown themselves on a ward. So the side of Blorp, they've missed each other like ships in the night. They haven't been able to find each other in this crucial moment. And they need to be so careful because Roche, 3 seconds left and it's going to respawn. If Eye Melting pops his head in there, he's going to see it. But both teams kind of just doing a loop-de-loop around the map and they just kind of end up on their own sides yet again.
It was like a beautiful dance between the two teams, dancing their way around each other. But yeah, Roche now up. It'll be interesting to see which team first of all spots it, because I don't think either team know this is up right now, and I think it would be, I don't know how much it gives you for Blorp. It's only the second Roche, so it's only the Aegis and the Shard. The Aegis would probably go into the Razor, but I don't know, I just feel like you need a lot more at this point in time. It feels like a series of fights need to be won, as opposed to just one that leads into Roche, or perhaps the one that you take from securing the Roche.
Tier 4 items being picked up now. Let's take a look at any ones that might have a really significant impact. Penta-Edge Sword Set is definitely one that's nice. Leveler as well is gonna
Ooh, the wraparound?
up. But here comes the wraparound. Cheese and Greg with a nice soul bind. They get the Doom out onto 2x2 as well as Ray Billy Shears. And here comes the refresher onto Doom. But put it on. I don't think he has enough mana to make it work. Yeah, absolutely not. And Praetor is just firing away. X2, this Doom is gonna run out very shortly. And here comes the Primal Split. Doesn't even need it to take down 4 already on the side of the block. And they're all melting ice. You don't have a reincarnate, you don't have a team, and there's more than likely gonna be the game for the side of block.
Oh, Rigby, he didn't have enough mana. He got a lovely double doom and then was looking towards Praetor. I think his Lincolns has already been popped at that point, but now it's just his die. He had to commit buybacks. Is he gonna get the doom?
He doesn't even have it up. I think he must have popped the Lincolns with his doom, not realizing that
Oh no!
Yeah, I don't think he realized that the Lincolns was still up. He just assumed it was popped. But here comes Ice though. They want to fight back. Baja Blast still has 1 charge of the ultimate. And this refresher as well. Reincarnate not there. And 100 seconds on the deck now. They take out the Grim Show as well. And GG is called Blorp. They had such a nice surge of fights in the mid game with those Razor buybacks. But it comes back to bite them in the end. Look at Balor on the net worth, so far behind the other cores. And without that advantage from their mid, Praetor just able to clean all of them up and take the superior fights. AM take away game number 1.
Yeah, and it was... It does feel like there's 2 early buybacks for the Razor. I mean, the first one obviously worked out for them, but perhaps the second one getting a little bit hasty with it. And that was when obviously Praetor gets his double rampage, and from that point on the game really spiraled out of control. There were a couple of opportunities I think for Blorp Unlimited to maybe come back, but they weren't able to do it, and after the Mercenaries were able to close this one out in what was in the end a pretty convincing game 1 for them.
Yeah, I mean, we were questioning this Klink's last pick, right? But I mean, Praetor, obviously, he called for this Klink's last pick. He knew exactly what his game plan was. He was going to keep farming up, get to those power spikes, and start being a menace all over the map. We were calling for that Lotus Orb, but they didn't even need it in the end because Rigby, he got a double Dooms off. Those look like really good scenarios, but they just didn't have the damage coming out from the rest of the team. Just the Bear spent most of those fights just trying to get away from the overwhelming damage from the side of Afternoon Mercenaries, so he wasn't really able to dish out the damage that's necessary. Meanwhile, the Wraith King being kited around after his BKB ends, right? And then from there, it's just so hard to take the fight. The Brewmaster causing havoc, the Klink's pumping in so much damage, and this Lifestealer, this immovable object in the front.
Super nicely done from Afternoon Mercenaries. You look at the Razor, the real impact of this early dieback. Obviously had the boost of travel and the Black King Var built pretty early, and then only a Halberd until the end of the game was really his item progression. He really, at 10 minutes he's a big superstar. He's close to the top of the net worth, and then complete drop off for the end of the game. So unfortunate for Blorp Unlimited. Hopefully we'll be able to see them bounce back in game number 2, because that was, one of those ones where you feel like you maybe have a shot, but perhaps if some of the team fights had gone a different way, you could argue that it was a potential win for them. But hopefully they stay calm, stay PMA, and come back for game number 2.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just going to call it how it is. Like, even in the moments where it looked like Blorp Unlimited had moments of brilliance, it was really just like Afternoon Mercenaries being caught with their pants down. And when you need to play an entire game, like, kind of hoping that you catch your opponents with your pants down, then those are not fun fights to take, right? You always need to rely on the nice maneuvers, the smoke moves, and stuff like that. And from there, it's just so difficult to try and outplay your opponent because you basically need the jump. And when you have, when you don't have map control, it's so hard to set up that vision. But, that wraps it up for game number 1. Of course, I wanted to highlight one last thing before we move on. Of course, Praetor, close to 70k damage on this Klink. So, definitely putting in the work for his team.
That is disgusting.
Yeah, with that said, though, we're probably going to go for a short break before we head into the next game.